All right, here we are with match 2 of Operation Amazonian Rage between HLL Tango and 7th Cav.
Yep, let's get it. So you're saying for the 7th Cav before the little bit of a technical glitch, you're thinking that you liked what they did? You're thinking just
I liked what they did.
More resource management.
Yeah, a little bit more resource management on Bud's part. I think dropping a bunch of dropping just a bunch of manpower on supplies is just not the way to go. I think if your squad can afford it, you should for sure have a support guy. There's no reason not to.
It makes perfect sense. So I think if I'm HLL Tango, I'm looking at like, wow, great match, but man, we know last week we could take Weibach or take that third point. I bet they're saying like, let's take that third point. I think they struggled to be able to get through. A couple times when they were making progress, they were delayed a little bit by 7th Cav making cap progress on the Scar. So I think it's going to be really interesting for them to see how they can capitalize to, Hotel was able to break through a couple times, get pressure in really successfully. Great job, A-Pip guys. Maybe seeing how they can share the love a little bit and help their other attacking sections get in and get into the strong point to really make that cap happen.
Yeah, and we're fighting over the Scar again. I can't remember what the last point was on the last match, but instead of Weibach point, it's Ruin.
Yeah.
I'm talking about for the U.S. side.
Yeah, so instead of Weibach, we got the Ruin, and otherwise the German map's the same.
So, yeah, it seems like, I don't know if they've marked where they plan on putting all their outposts, but they've got 4 positions marked in various locations, or at least the commander does. He's got an observe, a defend, a move, and an attack. And they're all forward positions for outposts in a zigzag pattern.
Interesting. I mean, HL Tango's got, So HL Tango, I really like what they got. So their opening move is to have their recon and take a troop transport with the recon vehicle. And push out. It actually looks like they're going to have a full troop transport to push from the south with recon vehicle support. While they send their medium to the north, they're heavy up the middle. So I actually really, really enjoy how their meta tactics from HL Tango. Heavy in the middle, recon south with a little bit of recon, and then med tank up north. That's a really cool little way to mix everyone up.
See, we got a medium tank and a heavy tank from 7th Cav.
So we'll be underway here in about a minute and a half.
Yeah, in terms of resource management, I don't think they've taken that lesson to heart. Already placing supplies down just to get that garrison up, and I think that's a mistake. Even though
they run out of munitions last round?
They ran out of munitions, they ran out of manpower, but they were good on fuel. Fuel was like the one resource they had plenty of the whole time.
Yeah, I think it's a bit difficult to run out of fuel in this game mode unless you're really hemorrhaging tags. However, the munitions and especially manpower, for sure.
Yeah, that's why I just can't advocate for supply drops, especially since the enemy can see that. They can see where you're placing down that supplies, and they can have a good guess of where your garrisons are going to be. Granted, this is far behind enemy lines. But
real quick, you want to get a timer ready? So we'll be live in 30 seconds.
Yeah, how long's the timer for? 43?
45.
45.
We're doing the full 45.
All right. So just tell me when.
Seconds. Yep.
So I'm ready to go when you say go.
You got it. Four, 3, 2, 1, live.
Boogity boogity boogie, let's go killing. Alright. So, we've got a transport truck in the north with First Lieutenant Profano and Second Lieutenant Cass probably looking to cross that north edge. Recon plane already going over the D line. I think that's a little bit too soon.
They might catch some of the troop transports. Profano and company is about to run into a medium tank, though. That's probably not going to end well. So HL Tango's getting up. So HL Tango's trying to garrison on the radio tower. That's interesting. Or maybe they're placing their nodes there. That could be what they're doing. So HL Tango's already made a move on the south, so they're crossing through their southernmost part. And they have a troop transport with about 2 squads worth of infantry on the SCAR now.
Yeah, and it looks like Germans are now just getting onto the SCAR. And they're making a little bit of cap progress.
Yeah, there's a good 2 squad size element.
It'll be interesting to see now if 7th Cav wins this match, is that maybe an indication of side bias on a map like this?
Yeah, it's possible. I think all these maps have some side bias, which makes it really hard. When choosing the 3 maps we're playing on, we chose the 3 that were the most even. I think what's nice about this Hurricane Forest is you can see, even though the SCAR is favorable to the Allies, they have that really tough river crossing. So it actually balances out pretty well. And I think as they make their maps adjust to their new meta, they tend to be more balanced. I mean, right now, there's a good squad to a squad and a half size element on the SCAR for the US team. So I would suggest that both teams have ample opportunity to get into that strong point at the same time. It looks like now with the cap progress going to the HL Tango side, they have a significant amount of presence on the SCAR itself.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. It looks like First Lieutenant Profano and Second Lieutenant Cass have actually pushed all the way into the C line in the third row.
That's hilarious. So they somehow managed to sneak past that armor in the north, because that armor in the north is actually overwatching the bridge crossing. So they must have just gone cloaked or something.
Yeah, they're just bringing a truck all the way back there, so I don't know what their intention is.
So now it looks like George and Dog has their outposts on top of each other, pretty much right on SCAR. There's pretty much no map control for HL Tango up north except for one lone medium tank, and now they have Charlie moving into that position. But they do have significant pressure in the south, and nice map control in the south for HL Tango as well as on the point.
Yeah, and 7th Cav has their 4 garrisons down. Whether they place another forward garrison is a different story. They didn't place a forward garrison near the SCAR before, and maybe that was a mistake.
Yeah, I think the strategy this time around for the 7th Cav is it's gonna be harder, man. Like trying to defend like they did last time with the river crossing, I think that worked. But Jacob's Barn is gonna be a tougher defensive position.
I just have Benny Hill music because First Lieutenant Profano and Second Lieutenant Cass have actually pushed into the center HQ in a transport truck.
That's pretty hilarious. There is artillery that is active, so I guess their maneuver was go kill that artillery ASAP, which they just did. This is a good fight for the SCAR though, right? It seems like it's going back and forth. Neither team has completely secured it. It looks like the progress could be going against the HL Tango at the moment.
Yeah. God, it's so aggravating because I'm watching all these supply drops go down, and it's just like, why can't you just get a support there? Why can't you just get a support to place down supplies? the commander's just wasting resources in my mind.
Yeah, definitely a point of improvement for the 7 Cav for sure. So right now, the 2 attacking outposts on the star for HL Tango are lit up hot. So HL Tango is kind of forced to funnel themselves into the scar in that E6 keep at 4-7 zone. They have control in the south. They have 2 outposts kind of controlling that southern point. Interestingly, the armor in the north is now actually maneuvering in that 3-4 box grid. So
yeah, well, there's a tank in F4 keypad 5 with squad supporting with an anti-tank nearby. Yeah, and all of the HL Tango positions have been lit up by a recon plane going over the scar. Item squad's also pushing off the artillery gun and pushing back in along the 5-6 line. They're currently in column B.
Yep, and in fact that recon squad actually drew back an additional recon squad from HL Tango to kind of help them defend. So I think that early just quick attack kind of spooked HL Tango a little bit. They're like, okay, we're not going to be having none of this, and they brought in little reinforcements to help secure their artillery. It's interesting too, because right now there's 3 outposts for HL Tango in that southern grid zone, and they have forces actually pushing south of Jacob's Barn, looking like they're ready to push into Jacob's.
Yeah.
And that armor for 7 Cav might be in trouble. That light vehicle mark is pretty accurate, and their armor, HL Tango's armor, coming up that FG34 grid.
We'll see. They haven't marked any of the tanks up there, so we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
It is a heavy Tiger, but if a light tank gets behind a heavy Tiger, I think they'll take it out.
Yeah, it's going to be a Sherman. So bombing run inbound for HL Tango as well, as they're slowly losing cap progress. So HL Tango's pretty spread out, and it seems like they're pretty confident that their 2 attacking squads are going to be able to capture the scar as they gain map control elsewhere.
Yeah, Profano doing some work in the back lines, marking enemy garrison marks. He has a light vehicle mark in C6 keypad 8 or 7, and then he's got a garrison marked in D6 keypad 7.
Yep. So if those outposts, those attacking outposts on the river line for HL Tango go down, they might be in a bit of trouble. But now they seem to pretty successfully gotten security on the scar itself, with both squads directly on the hard point.
Yeah, there's an airhead going down in D5 keypad 7 or no 1.
Oh, that's really deep. Well, there's nothing near it, so it might be successful.
Yeah, Notel's squad's pushing up along the river edge here.
It looks like this cap might go in the direction of HL Tango. So interestingly,
I don't know, because I see 7th Cav just surrounding the point right now.
Yeah, and
pushing
George
in.
actually just lost their OP, so HL Tango lost one of their attacking squad spawns. Interestingly, Recon Squad south of Jacob seems to have identified garrisons, their assaulting garrisons for HL, or for 7 Cav. Also, the medium armor is starting to push into Jacob's Barn, so they might be going garrison hunting.
Alright, that airhead is now down. Be interested to see who spawns on it. I see Captain Emerson as AT. He might be placing down mines along that northern road.
And interestingly, as you said that, actually, Jumbo is starting to make its way, as well as a supply truck. A supply truck's about to run right into that airhead, in fact. And now only Dog's lone outpost is on the scar.
Speaking of Dog and Love are now on that airhead, and that airhead's lighting up hot.
Yep. So they just dropped the supply truck that was maneuvering to that airhead. So that probably means that that airhead's position is known. However, there's no marks.
It was lit up for a second and then it went away, so I don't know where that truck went.
Oh, the truck's dead. They were able to take it out.
Ah! Spawn in, immediately rocket.
So it looks like Dog and George have control over the E5 grid. Otherwise, oh, there goes that light medium tank that was deep into Jacob's barn.
Yeah.
And their garrison on D6 is pinging hot, along with their recon vehicle that's there.
Yeah, 7th Cav's garrison in G6 keypad 4 is actually, it's getting taken out by something, and we've got Charlie and a medium tank reacting to it. Bud's in the area, and that's just been cleared.
Yeah, the garrison is marked. It seems like their recon squad from HL Tango's trying to make maneuvers on it. They're just having a hard time.
Oh, we got a mistake from Item Squad here. They marked a garrison in D6 keypad 5, but never got an outpost down.
Oof, that's unfortunate.
Airhead's still up, but the question is, can he get back on the airhead?
Yeah, so they're HL
And he
Tango's
is.
taking casualties from that garrison, but they have a lone recon vehicle, one-manned recon vehicle, kind of holding down that fort right now for him. Oh, and it just went down, so that garrison may be in trouble. Right now, though, on that E5 zone where most of HL Tango's forces are concentrated, we're seeing 3 HL Tango outposts doing everything they can to fight back into the Scar.
Yeah.
Man, this is insane. So this has been almost 10 minutes almost 15 minutes now of constant fighting over just the middle objective. Holy cow, kudos to both teams. What a fight.
Yeah, it's been halfway for the 7th Cav for so long. It must be a little bit aggravating that they just can't seem to lock it down. You
And
got...
it's been going both ways, too. So now it looks like the E5 position for HLL Tango is starting to get some contact. And the cap progress is once again reverting back to HLL Tango.
Be interesting to see. I mean, they got several squads there, and they're... I guess this is a point of improvement for the Cav. Spread out your OPs. They've got Bravo, Hotel, and Echo fairly close to each other.
I think it's challenging. HL Tango's also a bit bunched on their OPs. They're usually really good about it. I think it's just difficult. When you're fighting over that neutral point, there's not a whole lot of mobility with the garrisons yet. So they're almost forced to kind of pile into the one directional attack.
Yeah.
But even still, even with HL Tango starting to get a little bit of cap progress, it's just constant back and forth. It's starting to go back the other direction now.
Be interesting to see. It looks like one of the tanks got taken out, and a medium tank's now rolling up with Private First Class Virgil and Specialist Moore.
So here's an interesting development. It looks like 7 Cav is taking down the garrison on D5, keypad 9 for HL Tango. That is their main defensive garrison. It looks like they were able to clear the contact. I actually like what HL Tango has done. So they actually have a garrison on the radio turrets, D5, keypad 7, with armor and AT support to kind of defend that main defensive garrison.
And that's been marked with artillery to try and take that out. And it looks like there's actually a mine placed near where that tank is. I don't know how or when that got there.
Airhead.
Maybe, but I didn't see anybody go that up far north.
So now all of there's 2 outposts remaining for HL Tango on the Scar. Both are pinging hot. It looks like the garrison, finally options recon after vigorously fighting over the garrison G6 may be able to drop it. They just got killed again. Man, that must be a blood fight. Option against whoever's defending that garrison in G6. Recon is sending everything they got. They just can't quite.
That was Charlie They keep lighting it up red, so they can't spawn at it. If I was 7 Cav, I'd also place maybe a garrison north of that a bit, just so that you have a second attacking outpost.
And that would probably be quite successful, because most of the defensive outposts for HL Tango now is in the north. So they have 2 outposts, George and Nagant, and now they're occupied F5, E5 grids. And again, 15 minutes into this first combat for the middle point, and neither side has been able to secure it.
You know, when we wrote up the rules for a draw, I never expected that we would run into a draw situation where nobody caps the middle point for 45 minutes.
If that happens, that would be amazing. I don't think we're gonna see that.
Oh, and here we go. We have a garrison lighting up hot in G4 keypad 8 or 9.
Yeah, it's going down. Their HL Tango is a light vehicle. Stuart working on it, which is surprising because I'm pretty sure the Stuart can just pop it, but it seems like the tank commander got out to blow it up.
Oh, and I think they just took out a transport truck with Fano and Cass in it, trying to push back up that north edge, or they hit a tank mine.
Yeah, they have AT and armor support up in that north side. Their radio tower is their most defensive fob.
Man. We're over 17 minutes in. Nobody's capped this middle point.
Yeah, I'm thinking this HL Tango seems to have pretty strong control. They have map control to the south, and they have the E5-6 column pretty well controlled, with control coming in from the F5 grid. However, cut progress seems to be going against HL Tango at the moment. Interestingly, too, it looks like H5, there's a light Stuart making their way into the backline for HL, or against the 7 Cav.
H5, that's marked on the map by Love Squad. Interestingly enough, the tanks aren't reacting to it. Okay, here we go. The medium tank is now reacting to it and turning back down towards the point to maybe go tank out that tank.
So, interesting development. HL Tango is down to 1 squad and 1 squad leader on the Scar with just 1 outpost. So 7 Cav has been able to actually repel and start making cap progress. Also, interestingly, HL Tango still has about 4 squads pushing that southern 4 grid zone. So they have very good map control in the south. And it looks like they might be trying to come up from the south to dislodge the 7 Cav assault.
Yeah. Another interesting development is now the Scar has been circled back, and I wonder how many times we can have interesting developments within this match.
Right? Like, man. Oh, and here comes a bombing run from HL Tango, just trying to push the Germans off the Scar as they get their outposts back into position.
Would you say that's an interesting development?
Oh, I would indeed call that an interesting development. So also we have F7 Echo Squad from HL Tango starting to make maneuvers. So 7 Cat might be in a bit of a pickle here as Echo starts to perform a pincer maneuver from the south.
On H7?
F7.
F7. Yeah, you got a couple OPs there, but nobody's really covering that advance.
Yeah, it looks like right now we got HL Tango's making a maneuver from E6 keypad 3. That could spell disaster for the 7 Cav assault. They're able to get in there and pop outposts.
We'll see. Jig's OP is pinging hot. Somebody's got to alert them to that. Luckily enough, it seems like Jigs is far enough away from Hotel and Charlie's, but as I say that, an interesting development is Hotel and Charlie's OPs are now pinging hot. Garrison and G7 keypad 6 is gone now.
Yep, that light armor Stuart is making pretty quick work of some of the garrisons around Jacobs. Yeah, and it looks like with 4 outposts in the E5 zone, HL Tango still has a very firm foothold north of Scar. But it seems like most of their pincer maneuver from the south has been disrupted
Yeah, I mean, 7 Kev has been putting supplies, or the commander has been airdropping supplies all around the Scar. So I'm wondering if the intention there is to just have options in terms of like, hey, we're going to place garrison here and here and here just to make a move. They are doing better on nodes this match. It seems like they've placed down a few more than they did previously.
And this is actually a point that it seems like HLL Tango's starting to. They're actually down to 50 munitions and 60 manpower this match.
But 7th Cav is down to 40 and 34 right now.
So both teams are giving it an all. Right now, almost the entirety of HLL Tango is collapsed onto the Scar. It's gonna be tough if it seems for. At this point, they must have almost 40 people in that one strong point. To be honest,
we're almost halfway through, and nobody's captured the Scar. So, I mean, 7 Cab are kind of getting pushed back a little bit, but
I think this might be the cap that goes. This one might go to completion. It seems like HLL Tango has firm control over the strong point, and all outposts are in control.
Yeah, I mean, they have Artie going down on that position. That's all really 7th Cav can call down at this point. Be interested to see what happens. I mean, they've got 5 OPs. 1 just went down. 4 OPs just behind the Scar in the F6 square.
Yep, it looks like HLL Tango's starting to gain ground into that zone as well.
We'll see what happens. It really feels like it's going to be close.
And that light vehicle finally was able to be destroyed. Man, that light vehicle from HLL Tango must have caused such a headache for the defensive forces on Jacob's Barn, so good for them.
It looks like 7th Cav is now taking a book out of HLL Tango's. They're calling in a recon vehicle, maybe to go and try and push that back line. I don't know what they're doing currently.
Yeah, it's tough. HLL Tango's in a really good position. They got two heavy armor kind of overlooking their northern garrison, and they've pretty much put all their eggs into assaulting the Scar from that E5 zone and completely having control over it. And it looks like they might finish off the cap here.
Yeah, it's definitely been a really rough battle. Over half the time has been spent trying to capture the Scar. We are currently at about 22 minutes remaining on the dot when the Scar's been captured.
Wow, that's impressive. So, yep, 22 minutes left, and the neutral point was captured for the first time.
Yeah, and the thing is that 7 Cav still has a strong presence at the Scar. They haven't really been pushed off. It's just HLL Tango has taken the cap circle. That being said, it looks like there's a fight in the south with the Charlie squad here in F7 or 8.
Yep, Echo Squad from HLL Tango's been trying to work that maneuver as well.
Yeah, they may sweep up in here and try and take Jacob's Barn, which is just lit up with a whole bunch of nodes.
Yeah, currently HLL Tango doesn't have anyone across the G column. So there's probably massive amounts of bloodshed. It looks like Echo's trying to make a maneuver from the G78 zone back to Scar, or the Jacob's Barn rather.
Yeah, it looks like for the 7th Cav, they have run out of manpower.
Yeah, pretty similar story here for HLL Tango. Even though they're trying to get nodes down the Scar, still sitting at about 30 resources a pop.
Yeah, 7 Cav, interestingly enough, only has 23 a minute. So
yeah, same. Just now, it's the same for HLL Tango. They're just now getting their nodes up on the Scar to try to mediate that.
got a garrison going hot at G7, and we've got more supplies going down at H7, keypad 6 for 7th Cav, so they may be looking to reposition this garrison or reestablish it. I don't know if they went down though. Bud's right there, trying to take out that threat.
Yeah, it looks like HL Tango has about 2 squads trying to push to the north as well from the FG4 column.
And I don't know what else there really could be said. Each team is playing extremely well. It just seems like HL Tango is just playing a better game.
Yeah, I mean, both teams got garrisons, outposts. I think HL Tango's decision to focus on one attacking garrison but heavily defend it with armor support, it was really dire at certain positions, but seemed to be just enough to hold them out. And the 7th Cav, although it was so close a couple times on the SCAR, just wasn't quite able to maintain the position in the SCAR itself. I think the only adjustment 7th Cav could have maybe made was try to have a squad. You know, they also focus mostly on pushing from that F6 zone, but maybe just having at least one squad of recon try and push from the north just a little bit. But even as we speak, it looks like the SCAR, the only garrison HL Tango has on the SCAR, is being locked out.
Yeah, there's Blade is actually on that point. He may be down and just sitting on it, potentially.
Yeah, now we're seeing some progress from HL Tango that with Nugget and George pushing the Jacob's Barn from the G5 F5 zone.
Yeah, they've been lit up by a recon plane, and Charlie Squad's there to respond. Bum, ba, ba. We got a lot of dead air going on. I think we're getting tired a little bit here. Accommodating for a little over an hour now.
Well, the most interesting part is that the 99% of people that watch this video will just be kind of skimming through it.
Yeah.
But, you know, for those 1 or 2 people who actually listen in, cool.
Yeah, those 1 or 2 people, me and Rob just want to let you know, we appreciate you. We are so glad that you like listening to us so much, that you have sat through an hour and a half or maybe 30 plus minutes of video, depending on how this is all cut together.
Yep. So at this point, George has been able to make their way onto Jacob's Barn a bit sporadically, but most of HL Tango's efforts seem to still be on the defensive front.
Yeah, it's interesting because I can clearly see like a line of 7th Cav guys kind of making a bulge. I mean, I don't think, if I remember my history correctly, I don't think Hurricane Forest was the site of the Battle of the Bulge, but 7th Cav is proving me wrong here a little bit.
I think part of the Battle of the Bulge was fought in Hurricane Forest because Foy is in Belgium and Hurricane Forest is on the Belgian border with Germany, if I remember correctly. I think they're actually pretty close. All the Europeans who will be watching this are going to be like kicking themselves like these US people don't know anything about European landscape.
Yeah. Nah, this isn't near Belgium. This is really near the southern border to France to Germany, alright? You got it all messed up.
It's possible. Yeah, so it seems like HL Tango's got pretty strong force moving in from the FG5 zone.
Yeah, there's a bombing run.
Jacobs.
Yeah, there's a bombing run currently getting called down. I see Captain Emerson placing more AT mines in the north there around the radio tower. He's just been taken out. It's got like 3 AT mines there. And there's a bombing run going on to the point there. They've marked a garrison in E6 keypad 5 and an outpost marked in E5 keypad 2.
Yep. That's pretty much what they got for defenses on the SCAR at the moment. It looks like HLL Tango's trying to get some progress though. They have a garrison now on the FG line at FG5. So they have a good launching off point, so making progress on the SCAR, or on Jacob's Farm rather. Oh wow!
Oh
yeah.
Here we see cap progress. Basically, it almost seems like every squad, with the exception of Love, is on the SCAR itself. Now they're not in the cap circle quite yet, but they're pushing it.
And currently there's about 3 sections of HLL Tango on Jacobs, not in the charm point yet, but in the zone, near the zone. And HLL Tango does not have enough to reinforce. So this is going to be a bloodbath.
I think that's a key lesson to be learned here. And we see progress actually happening on Jacobs a little bit. But the question is that progress just going to be stopped? And 7cap actually had enough to do a reinforce on Jacobs to buy a little bit more time.
Yeah, it's tough. Recon vehicle along with 2 attacking sections to Jacob's Barn. Yeah, it looks like Jacob's Barn, the HLL Tango's trying to get into the wire and get that cap progress. And meanwhile, the SCAR is not really going in the favor of 7cap.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here what happens. But yeah, 7cap is just piling people onto the point, but they're just not capturing it. I guess the question becomes, when do you start calling people back from your assault to defend? And that's really a decision that Bud is probably going to have to make here soon, especially if that reinforce goes.
So now they've been able to destroy the garrison on the SCAR, and all outposts for the defending Tango side is down on the SCAR, which is resulting in some cap progress. I would say if I had to make a decision now, I would say Jacob's Barn is going to go for HLL Tango in this cap race.
Yeah, Hotel's actually responding to fall back onto the SCAR or onto Jacob's Barn. If they can just stall out, it looks like 7cap is making consistent progress, but it'll be hard to see what happens here. I might yell at Bud for this, but stop calling in supplies. Get your guys to place support. Holy Christ, you don't have the resources to do this.
Hey man, the game's all about garrisons. I respect it. So it actually looks like HLL Tango's getting stalled out a little bit on the point, but they still have a good 5 bodies in that strong zone.
Yeah.
And it looks like the SCAR might tip to the Germans here.
It's gonna be close.
Oh boy. All of HLL Tango's outposts are hot on the SCAR, but they're still active. So I think it's gonna come down to who can drop an outpost. And HLL Tango got a garrison back up on the SCAR as well.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens. We're almost at the 11-minute mark here, and the SCAR may just flip, which would be a relief for Love Squad at this point.
Okay, monster play from HLL Tango. Just burned all their fuel to get reinforced down on the SCAR. That might be the move, because now it's starting to go the other direction.
No, wow, it's just stalling.
Yeah, well played by Sir Zavi, HLL Tango commander. Heads up play. That's huge.
We'll see it. We'll see if it actually pans out, because it's going
back and forth.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it seems like the defense on Jacob's Barn for 7cap is holding. The Gate and George are pushing into the zone, but they are no longer able to secure this central cap.
Yeah, King, Dog, and Echo Squad are all there, trying to capture the point, but I mean, I guess if you can burn all your fuel just to get a reinforce down, it's going to make a huge difference. That being said, it looks like there's a strafing run or a bombing run going down from the Americans, or not the Americans, Germans. I can't tell. There's a lot of overlapping icons here. And a lot of blueberries on top of it, too.
Yeah, that reinforce is still active, so holy cow, man. I hope Sirzavi watches this and see how huge of a play that was. That right there, play the game. Like, that reinforce was everything. Now the question is the Axis going to be able to successfully defend? It looks like the Scar assault might be petering out for the Germans.
They're making progress. It looks like they're about 75% versus the 40% on Jacobs. Now, if they get enough bodies on the point, it may make a huge difference.
The garrison, and there goes the garrison on the Scar for HL Tango's just been locked out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. George and the Gat have pretty firm holds on Jacob's Barn for HL Tango.
Yeah, they just keep stalling out, and Love Squad's not been able to really respond to it. They've lost their garrison in G6, Keypad 4, and another garrison, they've lost 2 garrisons in the south.
Same story for HL Tango, though. They've lost all their garrisons. It's really just going to come down to cap progress. And that reinforce is all but extinguished for HL Tango. But George and the Gant are firm on Jacob's Barn.
Man. Yeah, okay, now 7 Cav actually has some people responding. Hotel and Charlie are going to Jacob's Barn to try and stall out that cap progress in sacrificing positions at the Scar, and they've just lost a bunch of outposts all at once. So
yeah, it looks like HL Tango has been able to regain control over the Scar. They still have not dominant, but a comfortable position on Jacob's Barn with about 1 or 2 squad size elements on Jacob's Barn.
Yeah, Hotel and Love are collapsing on the Scar right now. It's gonna be close. Do recons get satchel charges or no?
Negative.
I'm sure Profano's like, damn, I wish I had a satchel charge to put on this tank I'm getting behind.
Right. So Jacob's Barn, although there's still at least a squad size element on Jacob's Barn for HL Tango, seems to be going back to the German side pretty comfortably.
Yeah, they've got.
Say the garrison on the Scar for HL Tango is locked out.
Yeah, it looks like 7 Cav is just trying to reestablish their assault positions, but like maybe this is a note of improvement, but the 7 Cav needs to spread out a bit more. Most of their forces for a lot of the time was just focused in that F6. If I was artillery, I would have just kept nailing that F6 sector over and over and over.
That's what they've been marking, so I have to imagine that HL Tango has been doing that. They're even calling in artillery in that zone right as we speak.
Yeah, and here we go. We have a little bit of and we have a little bit of cap progress going towards 7 Cav, but they've also been losing it. It's gonna be close.
I still don't know how 7 Cav is holding on to Jacobs with pretty much 2 squad size elements sitting directly on Jacobs by HL Tango, but now it seems like they're starting to get pushed off of Jacobs pretty significantly.
Yeah, Hotel Squad's there. I think Love Squad is still there.
So interesting. I don't know how 7 Cav is doing garrisons, but HL Tango is actually down to only 1 garrison in the vicinity of Scar, and it's not even that close.
7 Cav is down to 2.
And HL Tango has reaffirmed some garrisons to the south, so they still have control over the EF7 grid as they try to fight their way back into the Scar.
Yeah. I mean, if they lose the Scar here, though, what backup garrisons do they have from there?
They still have 3 on the ruin, so they're in good shape.
All right.
So the attack on Jacob's Barn is all but fizzled out for HL Tango. So if 7 Cav is able to get the cap here as it's coming down to the wire, this could be it. It looks like they might be able to secure the cap here. Everything's lit up for HL Tango on the point. But the HL Tango.
We're at the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, HL Tango's just flooding the scar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks like HL Tango's been able to reaffirm their position on the scar. They have about 4 sections worth of infantry on the point, and they're also reinforcing from the south as well. And I think HL Tango also has adjusted to give up on any assault on Jacob's Barn just to secure the scar.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, 7th Cav has more people flooding in from the north, trying to get into that cap circle. I may zoom in here.
Yeah, I've been periodically zooming in too.
Yeah, I've just zoomed in on the scar right now just to try and see what's happening.
Yep, same. It's massive casualties from HL Tango on the scar. Did they just call in as some kind of support?
I may have missed it if they did.
Maybe it's just artillery. I just saw it. And there we go. Everything's lighting up on the scar for HL Tango, and they're taking some pretty hefty casualties here.
Yeah, Charlie and Jig have pushed in. Bravo's holding the north. Second Lieutenant Savage and Hotel is pushing right behind with Mix.
So 3 minutes, so everyone on HL Tango is just collapsing in on that point. All their OPs are hot. Their garrison's locked out. The scar must be an absolute bloodfest. It seems like HL Tango has pushed their armor into the scar as well, and they're just doing everything they can to hold off this relentless attack.
Yeah, if I'm the 7th Cav right now, I'm getting into every building I can and just planting a butt in there. Alright.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you're the 7th Cav, 3 minutes left, yeah, you're all in on the attack.
Yeah.
You know, there's no point. You either win this or you don't. I mean, there's no purpose in defending at this point.
Yeah, Love Squad's still sitting on Jacobs. And they haven't reestablished their forward garrison, so every time they get reset, they're running back from like the H line.
Yeah, and HL Tango has adjusted. They pretty much have all forces on the defense, and it looks like they're starting to get the scar back under control.
Yeah, every force that was on the scar just a moment ago has been pushed off with the... Oh, never mind. I was about to say with the exception of one person, and they just got cleared.
Yeah, looks like HL Tango's been able to re-secure control of the scar. Wow. Man, this is... What a match. Just wow. Yeah. So 2 minutes left, that might be game.
Yeah. I gotta say, if I'm on either team, there's nothing to really be too upset about. They both played extremely well. In terms of improvement, I think the Cav resource management, for one, would be a big thing. And I think re-establishing garrisons. The fact that nobody, like, it seemed like nobody was playing support and placing down supplies. Like, now that I say that, I see Private Zeng running forward, but you just very simply need to get that supplies down. Do you have any thoughts or opinions for HL Tango?
HL Tango are monsters. I mean, wow. They pretty much put everything they could into this match. Their defense on the scar, absolutely stunning. I think their defensive position on the radio tower to actually push into the scar was extraordinarily successful to overcome the challenge of crossing the river. Constant pressure on Jacobs. Really, just a well fought match. I think it just comes down to that reinforced by Zavi. That was just unreal.
Yeah, and it is a good call if you just have all this excess fuel, because let's face it, you're not going to burn through fuel all that quickly compared to manpower and munitions. And if you can just burn it all away just for something as crucial as that reinforce was, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So we're down to 20 seconds. It looks like this will go to HL Tango. To everybody who's made it this far, thanks for listening. We appreciate you. If you want to join
the map.
If you want to join either of these teams, we'll have links in the video description down below. And there's time. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of our video. This is Specialist Sparrow here, letting you know that the 7th Cavalry is hosting a fundraising tournament for the International Association of Suicide Prevention in April. All right, also known as the IASP. If you haven't heard of the International Association of Suicide Prevention, they are dedicated to preventing suicide and suicidal behavior, alleviating its effects, and providing a forum for academics, mental health professionals, and crisis workers, volunteers, and suicide survivors. The gameplay for the tournament will consist of the following. It's going to be 2 45-minute rounds of non-stop action, 1 map, swap factions between the rounds, 1 point per strong point, controlled at round's end. Only recon can enter the last strong point, and a tie will be determined by the amount of money raised by each team for the International Association of Suicide Prevention. So may the best team win. Help us in raising funds for this noble cause by joining our GoFundMe drive linked in the description. Information can be found in the video description on where to join, along with rules and conditions.